Hi, my name is Mark Walker. I'm the editorial director of the FinTech Times. We're here at Web Summit Qatar. I'm going to start off by asking you to introduce yourself to our audience, please.
Hello everyone, my name is Mohammed Al-Delaimi, co-founder and CEO of PayLater.
Fantastic. So PayLater, tell us a little bit about the history and where the idea and the background of the company came from.
Well, from the name PayLater, it's a buy now, pay later company. We started early 2024. And it's a Qatari startup. We launched the company to provide buy now, pay later for consumers here in Qatar. And yeah, we have a couple of objectives and mission to help provide a convenient way for customers to regulate and spread their payments. This will, of course, reduce the financial stress on the customer. Although we don't intend to push customer to buy more, but it's a tool to help customer have better control into their spending.
So, buy now, pay later, as you can imagine, I see it a lot from a European or from an Australian perspective, was a real big boom and has created some ginormous companies. And similarly, in the last couple of years in the Middle East region, you have the other players like Tamara and Tabi, which have done very well. What was the requirement to have a separate system based in Qatar, and why did you feel like you needed to do that?
Well, I mean, there is a certain indication that the buy now pay later would thrive in countries that have e-commerce boom. So in GCC in general, the adoption for e-commerce is picking up double digit every year and continuing moving forward. Meaning a new payment tool could be also finding a good way to, let's say, introduce to those customers to use it for their expenses online. So why not replicate other cases inside Qatar is that I believe allowing entrepreneurs and let's say those new ideas to thrive locally. So I believe this since the product itself as a design, it's a simple. So it's an instrument to provide credit for customers. But the way we are trying to differentiate ourselves is how we utilize the technology to fulfill certain use cases here in Qatar. So this is why we presented our case to the regulator, and they allowed us to test the product for almost 6 months in the sandbox. And we are seeing good positive response from the regulator of what we did in the past 6 months. So yeah, I guess allowing local initiatives and local entrepreneurs to push a new way of resolving those issues when it comes to credit facility to customers is, I guess, it's a good move from the regulator.
Yeah, and I guess from when you start going into the concept of credit, having a local knowledge of customs and procedures becomes very, very vital. And so would you say that's where you needed to produce the company rather than have another company like a Klarna or something from Europe come in and run their system here?
No, I totally agree, and of course the regulator here in Qatar, they are open to allow global players or regional players to come to Qatar. But I believe since this is directly have the relationship with the customer data when it comes to the customer behavior or customer spending behavior, so they would rather to allow the local players to operate then open the market for other players, because competition is usually a good thing, but the comparison between giant players to local players I believe they would have a criteria to enable everyone to operate in the same market. But yes, I believe we are a small startup as of now, but we have big ambitions, and we believe the brilliant ideas and the team behind it, they are dedicated to offer something new in Qatar. Of course, it will not focus on the use cases locally here, but yeah, we believe we're seeing certain pattern in GCC and other countries, regions that they will, of course, benefit from the new features that we will add in PayLater.
Yeah, and I think that obviously you mentioned sort of the trends. The trends very much within the GCC are very different to the trends in Europe for buy now, pay later. in Europe, they have a challenge with delinquent debts, which is not quite as prevalent here in the region. Why do you think that is?
In general terms, people are committed when it comes to whenever they do a purchase. Usually, they consider it as a loan. And here, of course, the culture in GCC is that you need to pay back your debt. So this gives a good customer behavior towards debt. That's why we see delinquency rate is very low, especially in Qatar. It's around 2%. So it's very good indication for buy now pay later to scale their business here in Qatar. And I believe the rationale behind that Qatar or other countries here in GCC, that they have high GDP, which promote disposable income, doesn't mean that they don't prefer to get a credit facility from those technology providers. But in case that they will have, let's say, keep the cash within their, let's say, themselves, and try to utilize any tools, at least it will promote a good behavior when it comes to the usage of the solution.
Yeah, and I guess what sort of areas do you do to sort of encourage financial literacy? Because obviously there is a potential that people could misuse it.
Mm-hmm. It always comes to how we promote our services. So I guess we are taking this into different areas. We have certain work groups that we do regularly with our customers, not only for awareness, but also for feedback. We also, have certain, panel talks that we do with the universities, because we're trying to populate the message for university students who are younger in age, and they're just about to have the responsibility of their financial spending. And yeah, we try to, spread the word also through talks like this. Of course, we need to target several audience, and we will continue to do so. And I guess our participation with the Web Summit is not only to talk with other startups and investors or regional investors, but also to try to also encourage other startups to consider our payment method in order to just promote more, payment options for their end customers, so which eventually will help us populate the wise words about using buy now pay later.
Fantastic. And then I guess you mentioned earlier about a very aggressive growth strategy. Obviously, Klarna, Tabby, unicorn status. Is unicorn status where you're going?
Well, to give you an indication, is that we have a target for this year, 25. We're targeting to have 50,000 active customers on our platform. And as of now, we are in February, we have 25,000 users. So maybe we are under projected our target, but I guess this shows that this tool is becoming more popular between consumers. And right now what we are doing is that we are building the right foundation for PayLater to thrive and scale up. We built a partnership with Qatar Islamic Bank that will help us with the credit facility. We also built a partnership with the best and fastest e-commerce delivery platform like Sununu. And Sununu will add PayLater as a payment option within their app. And just by mentioning this, Sununu, they have 100,000 active daily customers on their platform. So we expect to scale up very quickly here in Qatar, inshallah. So I guess we just need to have the right resources ready, because this would require an agile approach with our credit facility partner.
Fantastic. And then final question, obviously we're here at Web Summit Qatar. What role do you feel that these sort of summits play in bringing the ecosystem together?
Well, we see, first of all, it's a Web Summit in Qatar is an initiative of the government to promote Qatar as a technology and innovation hub. And this is the second year hosting this event. this will the idea behind it is bringing global players, global startups, global entrepreneurs to consider not only Qatar but the whole GCC as Qatar as a launching pad to grow to the neighboring countries, and also to encourage global venture capital to come and consider and looking into those technology startups to, let's say, open local offices. To also, this would be an opportunity because Qatar and the whole GCC is not only emerging markets, but it's all developing and growing markets, especially when it comes to technology and the adoption for technology.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for spending time with me at the FinTech Times.
Thank you for having me.